Have you ever played a game that just completely took over your life? You know the one, you just couldn't put it down? We've all been there. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and take a look at what makes those games so powerful, so unforgettable.
So what is it? What's the secret ingredient that turns a good game into an obsession? Is it the amazing graphics? The epic story? The challenge? It's a question every single one of us has probably thought about after a long night of gaming. And today, we're going to find the answer.
And here's the thing, it's not some kind of unknowable magic. It's a craft. It's a deliberate, really thoughtful process that's built on a kind of blueprint of core principles. And that's what we're doing here. We're going to walk through that blueprint step by step to see how it all clicks together. Okay, first up, we have to start with the absolute foundation of any game, the mechanics. The easiest way to think about these is as the verbs of the game world. They're all the actions you, the player, can actually do. Everything, and I mean everything, starts right here. So, to put it simply, game mechanics are the rules of the game. When you press a button and your character jumps, or shoots, or opens a treasure chest, you're interacting with a game mechanic. They are the invisible systems that make the world react to you.
And not all mechanics are created equal. You've got your core mechanics, which define the entire game. I mean, think about Mario. That whole universe is designed around that one perfect jump. Or Doom. It's all about that lightning-fast shooting. But then, great games add layers. Secondary mechanics like crafting or trading loot. They don't replace the core fun, they add to it, giving you more strategic choices that keep you playing for hours and hours.
So if mechanics are what you do in a game, what keeps you doing it for 50, maybe 100 hours? Well, that brings us to our next piece of the puzzle, progression and rewards. This is the engine that drives us forward. It's that powerful feeling of getting stronger, better, and smarter. This whole thing is powered by a super effective psychological loop that kind of taps into how our brains are wired. You face the challenge, you figure out how to beat it, and then you get a reward for it. Maybe it's a new ability or a cool new weapon, and that reward feels so good that it makes you immediately want to find the next challenge. It's a cycle that's just incredibly compelling. And designers have this whole toolkit to build that feeling. You've got ability unlocks that give you brand new ways to play. The difficulty scales up right alongside your own skill, so it never feels boring. You find awesome loot that makes you feel like your exploration paid off. And things like level gating, that's just a clever way for designers to control the pace, to make sure you're ready for what's ahead. But you know, a game with a great gameplay loop is one thing. To be truly unforgettable, it needs a soul. And that's where narrative and player agency come into play. This is what makes us feel like we're not just playing a game, but that we're a part of its world. Let's just do a quick thought experiment. Imagine you're standing in front of a huge enemy fortress. You've got to get inside. What's your plan? How are you going to do it? See, a really great game wouldn't just give you one path, it'd give you options. A warrior could just charge the front gate, all guns blazing. A sneaky character might find a secret tunnel. Another player might try to disguise themselves as a guard, or even find someone to bribe. All of these are valid, and that makes the world feel so much more alive. And that right there is the core of it all. Player agency is what gives our choices real weight. It's that feeling that what we do matters. When the world and its characters remember a choice you made hours ago, you're not just a player anymore. You're basically a co-author of your own unique story. All right, now let's talk about one of the most important and maybe most invisible parts of game design, balance. Because when it's done right, you don't even think about it. But when it's done wrong, oh boy, it can absolutely ruin a game. Game balance is like walking a tightrope. If you make a game too easy, players just get bored. There's no sense of accomplishment. But if you make it too hard, it just becomes frustrating and feels unfair. The magic happens right in that sweet spot where the challenge perfectly meets our skill level. Now, if you want a masterclass in this, just look at the Dark Souls series. These games are famously difficult, but people almost universally agree that they're fair. And why is that? Because every time you fail, you learn something. As the saying goes, failure always feels like a learning opportunity rather than arbitrary punishment. The game respects you enough to demand that you master it. And in competitive games, this is a whole different beast. Can you imagine trying to balance more than 160 unique characters in a game like League of Legends? It's a constant, never-ending job of making tiny adjustments just to maintain that crucial sense of fairness for millions of players. It's wild. Okay, so we've talked about mechanics, progression, narrative, and balance. But how does it all come together?
A great game isn't just a checklist of these features. It's about how they all weave together to create one seamless, immersive experience. And the ultimate goal for any designer is to get you, the player, into a state called flow. You know that feeling, right? It's when you're so locked in, so focused on what you're doing, that the rest of the world just fades away. Hours can feel like minutes. That's flow.
And it all comes down to this simple but powerful idea. It's not about just one of these things. It's about how they all work together. Good mechanics feel better with good balance. A great story is more powerful when you feel like you're progressing through it. They all support each other to create something truly unforgettable.
So what's the big takeaway here? Well, if you're a player, hopefully this gives you a whole new appreciation for the incredible amount of craft that goes into the games you love. And if you're an aspiring designer, this is your blueprint. Start looking at games through this lens. So I'll leave you with a little challenge. The next time you're deep into a game, totally lost in its world, just take a second, pause, and ask yourself, can you see the blueprint? Can you feel the mechanics, the progression loop, the agency, and the invisible hand of balance all working together? Because once you see it, you'll never look at games the same way again.